winner, please, in chat post-race. Alrighty, good evening everyone. Welcome to heat race number 4 in advance of the I Stand with Letto 400. Just a quick heads up, we're gonna have a little bit of, we're gonna have some frame drops here, by the way. I will be monitoring it on my output, so if so we do apologize for the inconvenience there, but as long as we can still see the stream, that is all that matters to me. So getting set to go here for heat race number 4. And we can tell you that heat race number 4 is brought to you by Butt Kicker, known for their transducers, including the Gamer 2 that adds instant immersion to any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves their Butt Kicker products move actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. Lake Quinn has a Gamer 2 unit and he loves it. Additional devices will be awarded to the championship-winning car owner and 2 special events. Use code XCAL20, all one word, to save 20% now through the end of the year at www.thebuttkicker.com. So we are set to go here. We have officially wrapped up. And with that said, let's give you the starting lineup. 21 drivers will take the green for the 9 o'clock session. It's Jonathan Bronson. First time we've seen him today, as Matt Bear can't make the feature tomorrow. He's filling in for Matt Bear, Kenny Tripp on the front row. Row 2, Octavio Rondeletto and Mason Foster. The third row, Jordan Babinger and Tyler McRae. Row 4, Tyler Batchelder and Mike Stauder rounding out the top 10. Patrick Sullivan and Daniel Miller. Row 6, Noah Carpenter and Joe Campbell. As we go through the rest of the grid, in row 7, it is John Friley, Carson Nagy. Row 8, Clinus LaBeouf and Travis Sukup. Row 9, Sean Patrick, Bowen Smith. Row 10, Art Hendren and Gerald Poole. Rounding out the field in 21st, Jeremy Letto. That is how we will line up when we take the green. It is an 81-degree track temp. Keep that in mind. Current pole time belongs to Kendrick Cryer, 16.037. Had by 2/1000ths of a second over Luke Turpin. So let's just talk about Jonathan Bronson while we are at it. As Matt Bear cannot make the feature, Bronson will officially be filling in. Bronson, by the way, did not make mandatory minimum practice, so he will be starting EOL. Just keep that in mind. One to go until we get the green flag. Again, 50 laps, top 3 transfer. Winner trying to beat a 16.037. We haven't seen anyone in the 16.035s yet tonight. Could it happen? We're about to find out. Let's see if Bronson can put the car on the pole, Kenny Tripp, or maybe anyone else. Pace truck pulls into pit road. Bronson brings the field to green. Heat race number 4 is green. Tripp behind Bronson, side by side for position number 3 between Ronda, Letto, and Foster. Octavio takes the third and final transfer spot away. And it's Foster back and forth, Babbinger in 5th. They're side by side. Mid-pack is Tyler McRae falling back to Noah Carpenter in the 424 machine. Just an FYI, all the drivers that did not make mandatory minimum practice have completed a heat, so no issues there regarding D and Qs. Kenny Tripp all over that rear end of Jonathan Bronson, excuse me. So we're on board with the number 12. One driver's crash, by the way, that's Art Hendren in the 21. That is a spin in turn number 4. Gets the car back going. Again, looking at best lap times, by the way, Bronson just hit a 16.08. That's the fastest lap of the race. Not good enough to beat Cryer, but here comes Kenny Tripp inside, but Bronson shuts the door. Tripp trying once again for the lead. They nearly touch in turns number 3 and 4, and you've got a new race here. It's Kenny Tripp. Bronson's turn now to hang on. Just finds a hole in front of Ron Letto on the bottom, and Ron Letto just got bumped out of the way, and he got turned again. For the 3rd time in 2 heats, Ron Letto gets bumped in turns 2. Oh my gosh, he's got to be very frustrated with the way he's been getting raced today, and I would not be surprised if he did that to other people tonight. Now Clinus LaBeouf puts the bumper on him. He's currently in 10th. Another driver just crashed. That's Daniel Miller. That's in the turn 1 area, I want to say. Just off the track, out of harm's way. So it's Kenny Tripp, Jonathan Bronson, and Tyler Batchelder. Now in 3rd, Mason Foster all over the back of him for the final spot in. Noah Carpenter all over Mason Foster, looking for 4th position. I believe this is a race the 424 has to top 3 their way on in. Update, by the way, regarding the best lap times. Bronson still with that 16.08, the fastest lap of the race. Not good enough to get by Kendrick Pryor. See if Foster can take a peek inside for the final transfer spot. Nothing working yet. Maybe a possible bump and run. But remember, he got treated that way by Austin Edwards to actually put Edwards in the feature. By the top 15. Foster tried to do it there, and that's going to cost him a little bit of ground. Almost opens up the door for Carpenter to close on in. 2 drivers off the track, by the way. Art Hendren and Jonathan Bronson. Not sure what happened with the number 19, but falls way back outside the 17th now. That's not even for a position. If I'm Hendren, I'd probably want to get off the track. So Kenny Tripp leads by nearly 3 seconds over Tyler Batchelder. Mason Foster in 3rd. Oh, excuse me. Tyler Batchelder is now in second. Foster's in third and puts the bumper. Now Carpenter trying to get by Foster, but there's a bump and run from Foster. Turns Batchelder around. Tyler Batchelder, now Carpenter involved. Yellow lights are on.
Up here.
Gotta tell you, that was a nice save by those drivers, but it cost them a ton of ground. Batchelder back to 7th, Foster to 4th, and now this puts Mike Stoddard and Jordan Babinger up to 2nd and 3rd. See if we can get a replay and see what happened that turned the 424 sideways, and we're going to take a look at this from our aerial shot on the more Polish pottery replay. So this is coming into turn 3. You see Foster put a bump on Batchelder, then there's a second bump. Looks inside, tries to shut the door. Around they go for a moment. Carpenter locks up the brakes and then rear ends, and a nice save by Carpenter indeed. A lot of drivers frustrated over that situation. Let's see if we can go on board with Carpenter over there after that. We're waiting for the 2-2 to come up. For that, we don't have any real PD chatter. We're going to add that right now. What these drivers are saying.
Don't worry about it. Two.
Getting the call here.
All right, I reviewed that one. I'm saying both the 96 and the 53 to the back of the field. They're driving really aggressively and rough there. The 96 was just kind of beating the back bumper off the 53. 53 was kind of checking up to get into him. And then off the corner, the 53 was pretty much turned down into him and made them both spin. And then after the fact, I watched the 96 go up in turn 1 after the caution was out, and it looked like pretty intentional to me, got into the quarter panel of the 53. So I'm sending them both to the rear of the field for aggressive driving. Let's double them up, double them up, boys.
1 degree, and that's definitely not what Noah Carpenter would want. Remember, has to place top 3 if he wants into the feature. Reset the field. Kenny Tripp, Mike Stoddard, row 1. Octavio Rondeletto, Tyler McRae, row 2. Clinus LaBeouf and Carson Nagy, row 3. John Frawley, Travis Sukup, we're back to green. Rondeletto up to 2nd. Stoddard feeding back real quick. Nearly got turned there off of turn 2. They are scattering in mid-pack there. That's the 05 of Nagy that got loose, and he just forced his way into our 3rd position spot right now. Definitely what the Jeff Becker Twisted Chassis team wants. This team is on the brink of not making it in the field with the way this number has performed in recent races. Right now, if they were to get a provisional, they would start EOL originally in the 34th position. But definitely what they want. It could definitely improve their starting spot indeed. You got Clinus LaBeouf up there in 4th spot, and rounding out the top 5 was Mike Stoddard, who did not get a good restart at all. So we've got 25 laps to go in heat race number 4. Octavio Rondeletto trying to close the gap on Kenny Tripp. Keep in mind the drivers all have worn out tires. A 16.09 for Kenny Tripp. As I look at my end, this would put him on starting in the 3rd position provisionally. Nagy doing a good job holding serve in 3rd. Remember, him and Clinus LaBeouf are allies, so LaBeouf probably won't race Nagy here for a position, but he will definitely race Mike Stoddard very hard and prevent him from plastic passing LaBeouf in case Stoddard has a faster car than the 05. And your top two, Kenny Tripp, Octavio Rondeletto, have pulled away one driver off the track, and that's Art Hendren. Miserable night for him. He's just been really loose in these turns and really tight, I should say. Just overshooting these corners. And did I just hear someone blow their engine? It may have been Noah Carpenter. He just spun and has jumped to the pits. Back over to third spot. 3-car battle here. Nagy, LaBeouf, and Stott are going to show you the fastest lap times the rest of the way through. Then apologies for the frame drops here. I think we may know what the issue is, but we will definitely fix it in time before the feature gets going. I think it's because our bit rate is usually set at 4,500. And we are off of Ethernet, by the way, in case anyone was wondering, and this has just been pinging up and down. I'll probably have to do a speed test before we get into 11 o'clock. Usually that's when it calms on down a little bit. Do reduce that bit rate, you may see a little bit of blurriness, so we'll apologize in advance for that. But Nagy's actually pulled away a little bit from LaBeouf as he's holding up Stoddard in that battle for fourth. Nagy and LaBeouf are tied for second in biggest moves since the start of the heat, each up 11 spots. Jeremy Letto, the hard charger of the race, and he is currently up 12. Meanwhile, 0.8 of a second lead for Tripp over Rondeletto, as between second and third is about 2.5 seconds. Jordan Babinger currently in 6th. Jonathan Bronson rebounding from a spin has made his way back up to 7th. John Friley 8th. Jeremy Letto in 9th. Mason Foster, after being EOL, rounds out the top 10. 13 laps to go, and right now nobody has a chance at all in beating Kendrick Pryor unless they get fresh tires right now, and a yellow. Unless we get a yellow right now, and they want fresh tires and want to win this heat. Let's compare lap times, by the way, between your top two for right now and see how they've closed in. Tripp has increased the gap by a couple of hundreds on lap 38. It was Rondeletto by 200s, and we'll compare the time delta these last couple of laps. Has just remained a little bit even. Back over to third. And Nagy's lost a little bit of time to LaBeouf. Just a heads up. This could be a critical situation. Tripp and Rondeletto, by the way, top 15 coming on in, so you know they'll definitely make the show without question. Seven laps to go this time by. And currently this is anyone's race for third. Nagy, LaBeouf, or Stoddard. Who wants it more? I think Nagy wants it more, just has to try and outdrive LaBeouf. See, LaBeouf is better on the entry, but on the exit, it looks about to be Nagy. On the center, it's just even by a touch. You can see the 03 outbreak the 05 a little bit. We had a crash, by the way. Mason Foster, that yellow 96 you saw, off track on the infield. We are green, by the way, the rest of the way.
From you two. Green, green, green.
There you hear the words from PDJ Zeller. Green, green, green. LaBeouf trying to hold off that 28. Show you the top 5 the rest of the way through. 4 laps to go. Now, could Rondeletto possibly, because of the gap he has lost, possibly park it and save it for 11 o'clock tonight? That's my real question. That would put Nagy in second and LaBeouf up to third. We'll just have to see. With 3 laps to go, LaBeouf still still trying to hold off Stouter. Trying to help out that 05 big time. They're working on slow traffic. That's the 51 of Daniel Miller. 2 laps to go, meanwhile, for the helmet, Kenny Tripp. Gap is 1.2 seconds over the Argentinian, Octavio Rondeletto. He's working on lap traffic, but will have a 3rd place provisional position when this race ends. Final lap underway. Outstanding drive by Kenny Tripp. Let's see if Rondeletto pulls it off. And I don't think he will. Kenny Tripp loses. A car is crashed, by the way, as Tripp wins heat race number 4. Rondeletto 2nd, and Carson Nagy comes home in 3rd and transfers on in. So a home race for the Manley Asphalt team, and look at Kenny Tripp. Burnout paradise for the driver of the 12. Just Kenny, whatever you do, don't flip yourself upside down.
12:77:05 transfer.
And
See
it's
you guys in heat
official.
five.
Kenny Tripp makes
Kenny
his way
to Discord for Marty.
And we're going to talk with Kenny Tripp right now as he lights
Race
him
control.
up. Kenny, got a copy.
Yes, sir.
Nice win, man. Just walk us through the race.
Race started out good. Car was good all night, really. I just had some bad luck and maybe was a little too aggressive the first couple races. But you know, I'm not very good at this. You ask the guys in the pit area. I just get lucky sometimes.
What are the expectations for tomorrow? Provisionally, you start in 3rd.
Good starting spot. Hopefully stay up front and ride. Last couple of weeks I've been screwing myself with pit road penalties, so hopefully I can be on the front stretch, which it looks like I will be, and stay out of trouble with penalties, and hopefully it's going to be a long race. Definitely going to be a lot of pushing and shoving, and just got to be patient.
Right.
Mostly ride.
Alrighty, sounds good, Kenny. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you. I got to thank Brandon Varney mostly with the setup, and my wife for letting me do this, and you guys for putting it all on. Great show.
Absolutely. So we're going to move Kenny back in as soon as possible. There we go. Tripp, Rondeletto, and Nagy transfer on in. Everyone else goes to the 11 o'clock situation. We'll show you the starting lineup, the provisional starting lineup once we hit 11 o'clock. For those wondering how it looks provisionally at